In this video, we are going to learn on how you can use Gemini CLI in a day-to-day work. Google has recently launched it, so it really makes sense for you all to use it. So let's get into the action. So first thing is first, go ahead and please subscribe the channel, please. All right, so first thing first we're gonna do is search for Gemini CLI. I'm going to take you to a blog that actually tells a few details about this Gemini, and that is the number of requests and that you can make in a given day. So please note that you can make about 60 requests per minute and about 1000 requests per day, and it is absolutely free of charge. And I really love it. If you compare it with other tools that are available in the same ecosystem, right, they're very expensive, and this Gemini CLI, it is absolutely free. I don't think you're ever going to cross this limit. When you start using APIs or other things, then you may have to pay for it. Otherwise, I don't think you ever have to pay for it. Okay. What we really need is we need to go to this GitHub link. You don't need to worry about it. I'll give it to you in the comment section. As we go, we need to scroll down and install it. So there are two ways to install. Either you can use npx, right? Either you can use the npx, this one, or you could use the npm. So I'm going to use the npm. I already have it installed, so I really don't need to do it, but you can open the terminal and paste it here. I'm still going to do it just to show you all. And once it is installed, you can just enter Gemini, and there you go. That's how your Gemini CLI works. Okay, I'm gonna make it a big little bit. Okay, so first thing first, what you will see, it may be a little different than mine. Is right, there are two things it will ask you. First is the authentication, and second one is the theme, right? So your authentication will look something like this. It will ask you to either log in with Google or Gemini API key or Vertex. You can choose Google. You just need a Gmail account. I have this one with me. You could use anyone that you like and just click on sign in, and that's all you need to get started with Gemini CLI authentication. And that's it. We already have the authentication done. And the other thing it will ask you is about for the theme, right? So you can actually pick any theme. There are quite a few options available: default, dark, GitHub, Ensign, GitHub Lite, Google Code, whatever you want. I'm gonna go with the basic and stick with default dark, and there you go. Now what I want to show you, now that we have already seen how you can install it, right? The other thing that I want you to show is that Gemini CLI has access to Google search, and I can prove you that, right? So I'm going to come here and say, what is the weather in Delhi? Okay, now of course you're not going to use Gemini CLI for this purpose to ask for a weather, but this is just to showcase you that that Gemini has access to Google search, and currently it is searching on the web weather in Delhi. You can see we have the results that the weather in Delhi is currently thunderstorm with temperature of over 30 degrees Celsius, feels like 38, and yeri. Okay, and also it gives you the air quality. So this definitely tells you that your Gemini CLI does have access to the Google search. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to another directory. I'm going to close this terminal, and I have a directory called dev, right? And I'm going to open my terminal here, and simply once again I'm going to type here Gemini, and what we are going to see now here is that how you can actually use Gemini CLI to create projects. Okay, so I can write here, create me a simple React project. Now the best part about using Gemini CLI to build projects from entirely scratch, or to build an entire project end to end, that it is going to ask you questions as you build it. So you can see it is asking, I can do that. What would you like to name your project? I'll say Gemini React project. So it is saying the deciding project parameters, and as it builds, it's going to ask you everything that it's going to do. And while this may take some time, but it gives you good results. Now there's a catch. It really doesn't give you a very good result because Gemini CLI is still in the very initial phases, right? It is open source, it is launched very recently. So if you're planning to build an entire end-to-end application using Gemini CLI, maybe give it a second thought, because there are many other applications available on the internet that allows you to build end-to-end full stack application. So maybe for a small POC you can do it, but it really does not do a lot of justice when building a project from scratch. And that is when I am recording this video now. Maybe 6 months or 1 year down the line, it may change. So you can see the project has been created, right? All the details Gemini CLI has given it to me, and now it is asking me, would you like me to do an npm start? I'm gonna say yes. Now it's going to open my browser and run all the necessary scripts in behind the scenes and run the entire application. So you can see it is running on localhost 3000, and there you have it, your React application. Now, of course, this is nothing fancy at all. It is just your simple React application, but it gives you an idea that you can actually go ahead and build application from scratch using Gemini CLI. Now there are a few other things that you can do is I'm gonna close this here, right? This Gemini CLI, and come to my other directory of dev and open another project called React Swabase. Do the same thing, cmd, that is open my terminal, zoom in and write Gemini. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask Gemini, since I don't know what this project is about, I'm gonna say, what is this project about? So you can see it has given me a response that says, based on the readme.md file, this project is a React application bootstrapped with create React app. That's absolutely right. The file and directory name suggests that it uses Supabase for backend service like authentication and database. Few details about the project, and everything else that it has given to me, and I think a lot more details. That in summary, it is a React application that allows users to order different types of samosas with data being managed by Supabase. I think I built it a long time back. What you can actually do is, Supabase has some kind of symbol or commands that you can use it. For instance, if I use an add command, I can actually access the files. So if I go on source, right, I can access different files here. Let's say I want to access app.js, and here I can write, can you suggest some code improvement in this file? So you can see here it is saying, of course, here are a few suggestions to improve. Unused output, the logo is imported but never used, component organization, layout, structure, and everything. And it can also actually go ahead and make these changes. So it is saying apply these changes. I'm just gonna say no, I don't need these changes. That's one thing that you can do, is access the files and directories using the @ symbol. The other thing that you can also do is the slash command. So slash command gives you a lot of options on the screen. The first one is about, it gives you details about the Gemini CLI, git commit, the model you are using, the authentication methods that you have used, and everything else. And while this you can access using the slash command, the other thing that you should also notice is on the bottom of your screen, you have Gemini 2.5 Pro. This tells you that you are currently working on this model, and 99% of context left means the window that you have in a given day. I said that you have about 1,000 requests that you can make in a given day. So this is actually what it is talking about, that you have only used a percentage of what you can use in a given day. You still have about 99% left. You can do other stuff. You can actually, if you want to change the authentication, you can change here. You can manage the chat. I would encourage you to go ahead and look at it. I'll give you some links. You can also access the docs right from here. You can clear the history. You can compress everything that is up there, right? You can compress it. You can change theme. You can connect to your MCP and a lot more stuff. And what you can also do is you can quit. But do I want to tell you now? Okay, but let's do it. If you click on quit, it gives you a very nice summary about what have you done until now. It will tell you the success rate has been 75%, right? You can get details about your performance, what was the agent active time, what was the vault time, how many tokens did you use, and everything else. Okay, and the model that has been used. So you can do it. Now to go and learn beyond this video, what you can do is to definitely come to this GitHub repository, and at the bottom you can find some of the sample tasks that you can do. For instance, you can ask Gemini to describe the main pieces of the system architecture, what security mechanics you can use. You can also roll back to your GitHub issues. For instance, implement the first draft of GitHub issue with the issue number, and you can also make some slide decks, right? And you can convert images that is given directly to PNG. So the possibilities are endless. Now, the other thing that you can actually do is, you can also, once you have installed this globally, right, your Gemini CLI, you can also access it using the VS Code. So right now I'm inside the VS Code. It is the same React project that I've built. If you just come to the terminal and write Gemini, so you can see now you can access Gemini inside your VS Code, right? And just like this, you can do it anywhere else. Like any code editor you're using that has terminal, every code ID has it, right? So you can actually access Gemini over there. Now, the possibilities are endless. Again, I'll say this is relatively new tool out there, so over time it will definitely get better. Let me know in the comment section what would you use this Gemini CLI for, and if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe the channel, put your thought in the comments, and yeah, my name is Jimmy and I'll see you in the next video.